Need for Speed Underground was the first game to go at a complete different direction since it was founded. Away from the exotic rides, scenic drives, and police chases, the entire racing scene take inspiration from the Fast and the Furious movie and focus on tuners with customizations. It received a lot of praise, but there were a lot of glitches as well. So EA addressed them and transformed it into something even better for Underground 2. Midnight racing scenes, eye-candy graphics, nitrous effects and customizations, all the good things from Underground 1 has been kept and further developed. What's new about it was the open world, which was starting to become a trend in the gaming industry. Races and events are spread throughout the map. It's not big in today's standards, but it's still diverse and a chore to navigate around challenging roads. Cash are scattered around the city to encourage you to explore it. Different shops are also hidden for you to discover with new parts as a reward. The other new feature was the story. They're not amazing compared to Most Wanted or Carbon, but enough to make the city more livelier than it looks. Basically, you start in a new place where people pay absolutely no respect to you.
So you're what all the fuss is about? Don't look like much to me.
At the same time, a really hot-looking lady decides to generously hook you up with a car and garage to get started. There are no bosses to defeat or territories to take over. You aim to unlock new parts and unrestricted areas as you go along. To encourage reckless driving, you get rewarded with nitrous by having a lot of near misses with the traffic and slipstreaming racers. Different race types include circuit, sprint, drag, and drift. Circuit and sprint are lapping and point-to-point races where you have to drive fast and not crash. The same is in drag, except in a more strategic approach. You need to launch and shift at the right RPM to get the best acceleration. You also need to rely on drafting your opponents to slingshot ahead, but be careful not to over-rev the engine. Drift races starts off at close courses. Your aim is to outscore your opponents by keeping the car sliding. You get bonus points by sliding your car close to the edge. Later on, it takes place in the hills where you do exactly the same thing, but with local traffic as well. Other special races include Cross Races and Underground Racing League. Cross races take place in close courses, and Underground Racing League is a series of races that take place on trespassed racing circuits and airport runways. You unlock new cars for winning them. At some point you will receive sponsorships, which is weird considering it is underground racing. That said, money earned from racing is not that much, and you will have to race a lot to earn some decent cash for customization and upgrades. Never underestimate the skill required for this game. It may not be simulation-like handling, but it can get tough if you're too used to recent Need for Speed titles. It is not simple brake, drift, and hope for the best. You need to utilize the grip to catch the best driving line. It even encourages you to trail brake. If you're good with stick shift, then you can use the engine braking as well. The AIs are aggressive and can take you out in the process if you stay in their way. That said, if you want to play dirty, you can also take them out. Be careful not to crash though, because the rubber band AI does catch up pretty quickly and can ruin your race. Customization is compulsory, as you also have to progress by getting your car featured on DVDs and magazines. You need to get featured by scoring high on the visual ratings with body kits, spoilers, and newer customizable parts, like stereo for your trunk, as well as putting neons in the engine bay. Scissor doors, spinning rims, and hydraulic suspensions were essential at that time too, but I'm not sure it would suit modern taste anymore. The color choices are pretty old school too. There is only gloss metallic and pearlescent paint. There's no matte color or chrome, but then I don't think it was a trend back then either. You can color individual parts down to the brake calipers if you wish. Vinyl choices are plentiful but fairly outdated in today's standards. It's not movable or sizable, but enough to make a unique and cool looking ride. There's not much to say about the graphics since it's almost 10 years old. The cutaway and slow motion shot looks cool at times, but gets pretty repetitive every time you crash or catch air. The interface is very intuitive, everything is categorized nicely with colors and shapes. Soundtrack mainly revolves around hip-hop and metal, which may no longer suit modern tastes given people are more into electronics or techno now. So this goes back to the question, why is people craving for it even today? The answer is that the game gives the player a lot of freedom to do what they want with their car, even though the customization is outdated and the tuning is full of errors. The AI may be hard and the controls require a bit of technical approach, but it is still authentic and easy to grasp. There are added features that distract you from racing at times. Extra varieties that makes even the most simple race entertaining, like drag racing in the rail yard and drifting downhill with traffic. And these are the elements that the Need for Speed has been missing. If EA is going to remake it, it has to have much more depth and variety than today's offerings.